Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. It's from a guy, he's 25 years old, he's a doctor, and he's from over in India. And he's writing in looking for some of my advice and guidance in the situation he has going on with his family. You see, like a lot of Indian guys out there, because of their culture it seems, the culture is pretty much that you listen to your parents, and you do what they say, and you live with them until you get married, and all these things, and if you don't, it seems to be obviously very disrespectful and all that, if I'm not mistaken. His situation here is that he's always been the good son, and did what his parents asked of him, more like told him, and went to medical school. He's now a doctor, still living at home and relying on them for everything, paying all the bills, taking care of them. He wants to finally, as a man, go forge his own path, start working as a doctor, putting money away, taking care of himself, etc. They don't want that. They want him to go on to study for a postgraduate program, for lack of a better term, and keep studying. And he's conflicted because as a man, he obviously wants to forge his own path, but then there's obviously the parents and the family. I thought this would be a good one to go over here because it's interesting, because I get a lot of guys from India write into me, and they have similar situations, either about their career or relationships and everything. It boils down to the family. Now, I don't know the Indian culture. Okay, I'll be honest here, I'm an American. I've never been to India. I know some Indian folks, and they're nice people. I had Indian food last night. Love the food. They love me when I walk in there. But, so I'm trying to be as understanding as possible here. But what I do understand is human nature. I understand what drives all of us, and it doesn't make a difference where you are in the world, what your culture is, religion, blah, blah, blah. Human beings are human beings. So, and I know as a man, deep down, his masculine core wants to be the provider, wants to be the conqueror, wants to forge his own path. And when he doesn't do that, when he's held back either physically or by guilt or pressure, it doesn't feel right. And to this guy, it doesn't feel right. So this video here, my response to this, is going to help all the guys out there, whether you're overseas and you got family pressure to do things you don't want to do, or just simply you're held back for whatever reasons. Understand that voice in you that's telling you this is wrong. That's because that boils down to our programming, that the guy is usually the hunter and the provider, not the one provided for. And so you have to listen to yourself and forge your own path. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. And I will get more to that after his story. And by the way, this guy was raised in a household where his dad, he said, even though he loves his dad and respects him, very blue-pilled guy, doesn't set boundaries. No doubt his mother runs the show. Growing up, his grandmother raised him, so he's used to all this feminine energy. And so naturally, he's very shy, not very good in social skills, not assertive. And so you can see, because of this feminine energy, he's used to also being told what to do by women. So we got to help him out. So he says, hello SSM. I've been a subscriber to your channel for the past 2 months, and man, I really wish I had the information you have given through your videos long before I made the idiotic mistakes in my life. Thank you for sharing your views and being an eye-opener for many blue-pilled guys out there. It's my purpose. This is why I'm doing this 3 or 4 times a day between all the channels, and thank you for your support. Please do bear with me, SSM. English is not my first language. I'm writing you to ask something to know your views on them. It might be different from the views I have due to the cultural differences. Anyway, I will get to the point. I'm 25 years old, a male doctor by profession. Congratulations on becoming a doctor, man. That's great. We need more of them. Born to a typical conservative Indian household. That itself would be a major drawback. Being an Indian, you could expect the dramas associated with the family, and to put it frankly, it's a real pain in the ass. Well, all families have dramas in varying degrees, but I have heard things about your culture. I was raised in a joint family in which my grandma took care of me most of the time as my parents went to work. So he had that female influence all the time. Both of my parents had their work schedules from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and off on the weekends. The work doesn't seem so bad right as you get to the weekends off. But that's where all the turmoil started. My grandma, bless that woman, she passed away some time before, was a drama queen and would stir up all kinds of awkward situations and fights. So yeah, I grew up in a household seeing endless drama. So that's the problem when the woman who was raising him most of the time was also drama queen. all this feminine energy. What he needed was a man there to act like a man and show him the path. Because even if the man wasn't saying anything, he's observing the man's body language, how he deals with others, how he talks, that type of thing. Resolves issues. But this young guy here is seeing grandma, who's running the show, and he's supposed to listen to her, and she's being a drama queen, starting up drama. That's what he's used to. This is the problem. So imagine all those boys out there raised in single parent households, and overwhelmingly they get their mother, and that's why a lot of the young guys are feminine, because they just see their mother, and they go to school and the female teachers. And I might add, a lot of the teachers are turned schools into indoctrination centers, and don't get me started on that. My dad is a typical blue-pilled nice guy, and yet rubbed on me in the wrong way. I do love my dad, but it's sad that he doesn't set his boundaries straight. Well, always love and respect your dad. He's your dad, of course. But right there, blue pill, I'm not surprised at all, and doesn't set boundaries. Which means he's a nice guy, which means people take advantage of him, which probably means your mom runs the house now that grandma's gone. Growing up watching Bollywood movies where the main characters are blue pill nice guys, I also tried to do the same thing when I was in college, and boy, I never got with a girl. Of course, because those movies are bullshit. They're written by guys or gals that probably never got a lot of attention for, when they were younger. So they're writing the scripts, the story, these movies, how they think the world should be. And it doesn't work. And people watch those things over and over again, think that's reality. They do those things in real life and wonder why they don't get the girl. It's not, if you really look at that like that, then you'll understand. Just watch movies, guys. You'll see how they portray the men and portray the women. It's ridiculous. That's the backstory. Despite being 25 years old and being a medical graduate, you could say that I'm under house arrest. What I mean is that I'm trying for my postgraduate entrance exams to get into residency training so that I will get a postgraduate degree, a specialist as well. In these circumstances, I'm told to do nothing and only study. Notice he said told. He's been conditioned to be subservient and not set boundaries, just like his dad, and he's being told. Literally, I'm dependent on my parents for everything. I told them before that I would like to join as a junior doctor and get some savings and then start my preparations, but they were guilt-tripping me and finally got me to start my preparations. I'm willing to bet, aside from culture, the only thing your parents really have going for them is you. You didn't mention any siblings. So your success is their success. So the more you move up in the world, the more it makes them look good. That's my gut here. Now I feel completely disgusted with myself, and I have to ask my parents for money while my peers are having their own lives. He says, P.S. I had my savings during my internship days, but wasted it on buying stupid things and a bike. Well, you were young. A lot of young people piss their money away on bullshit. I feel mentally exhausted, and to top it off, I'm a little introverted, and so social conversations aren't my sort of deal. How can I get out of this situation at SSM? In some ways, I want to study, but not being dependent on my parents, and I do want to get rid of my social awkwardness and be the cool guy to hang out with. If you guessed it, you are right. I don't have a lot of friends. A typical nice guy nerd asking for advice at SSM. If you find this post lengthy, feel free to trim it down, and if not, it's not a good story to make the video. It's okay. I know it's just regular stuff that happens somehow. Anyway, do keep up the good work, SSM, and thank you. Regards from India. Well, bro, you're not alone. I get emails from guys from your country all the time. I did one a few weeks ago. He actually wrote me a year or so ago, and I lost his story and found it, and I did it. But getting to the point. So here's the deal. Here's the way I see it. Keep in mind, again, I'm an American, and I've never been to your country and all that, but I understand human nature. You got two choices here. It's real simple. Either you continue on the path you're going on right now to make your parents happy and be unhappy, okay? You'll do everything they want, and you're going to have this feeling inside, feeling like crap because you're living their lives, not yours, and you're not feeling like a man. You'll continue to be unhappy. And what's going to happen is that you'll then go on and get your postgraduate thing, and once you got that, then they're going to say, okay, son, it's time for you to get married, whether you want to get married or not. And because you don't want to upset them, you'll get married. And no doubt they will pick the girl. And because you have social awkwardness and you admit you're a blue pill guy and you don't set boundaries, your wife is going to run your marriage. And no woman respects a guy who lets the wife push him around. Then your parents are going to suggest, it's time for you to have children, son. And then you're going to have children. And then, even though you'll have success as a doctor and you'll feel good about that, and probably have moments of happiness, you're still not going to feel good. And one day, you're going to end up doing the same thing that your parents did to you to your kids. That is pretty much how your life's going to go. Maybe exaggerating a bit, but I think you get the point. Or option B, you can do what you want to do. You can figure out how you can get a job as you described while you're working, and also eventually studying for this postgraduate thing, which you want to do anyway, and provide for yourself and live the life on your terms and your time schedule. Research how to do that. Maybe you get an apartment, share it with somebody else. I don't know. You'll figure it out. And you tell your parents. And you be as respectful as humanly possible in telling what you want. And either they're going to be deeply offended and you're bringing shame on the family or some ridiculous exaggeration like that. Or they may not be happy with it, but they'll go along with it, realizing you are their son and they want you in their lives. Or some varying degree of that. But you obviously are unhappy and you can't go on like this because you're going to be unhappy the rest of your life. But you need to have the strength and the balls to go for what you want. Don't be like your dad, who you said yourself is blue-pilled, doesn't set boundaries. You need to set boundaries. And, like I said, I've had a lot of guys write me from your country in varying degrees. Either they're pushed into a marriage or pushed into a career, and it's about the parents, and they rule with an iron fist and all that. And remember also, like I said, I'm convinced that with the parents, it's no different over here. A lot of the parents' happiness is based on the kids. The kids are doing well, and it starts as little kids in sports. The father who was once very good in sports when he was younger, now he's pushing his kids into baseball, soccer, football, whatever. And he's, you see what I mean? Their success is his success. And then in school, then in life, and so forth. It could be the same freaking thing, So I applaud you for becoming a doctor. That's awesome. Good for you. And my dad was a doctor. He loved it. And but you got to do what you got to do for yourself. And you have to be able to be okay, or at least tolerate them being so deeply offended and not wanting to speak with you for you to forge your own path. And that's a sacrifice you have to make, then do it. But obviously, it's not going to be easy for you because you're not confrontational. You're not good at setting boundaries. You can change, but you have to be brave to do it. Can you handle them not talking to you for a while? And if they pull that stunt to try to guilt trip you, you have to be able to hold your cards longer until they cave. And if it means they don't talk to you for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you're not going to budge, because if you cave and go crawling back to them, they'll run your whole life. And I guarantee you, it ain't going to stop with medicine. Then they're going to be telling you it's time to get married. Then they're going to be telling you who to have kids with. Then they're going to be telling you how many kids you have. This is what's going to happen. And I'm sure you know plenty of guys in this situation. So you got to forge your own path. That's what I think. And if you don't, you're going to be very unhappy. Trust me. As for regards to social awkwardness and all that, the way it affects that is simply just jump into the water, and swim. Sink or swim. Go out there and talk to people. It's just like anything in life. The more you practice, the better you get at it, and the easier it gets. When I first started this channel over 3.5 years ago, I was awkward as hell on camera. I talk too fast. You just go back and look at my earlier videos. You'll see night and day difference how I am now versus I was 3 years ago. Practice, practice, practice. I got like 2,400 videos in circulation between 3 channels now. I can do this, like a drop of a hat, and it's just relaxing, is easy to me. You practice talking to people enough times, I guarantee you're going to get good at it. So go out there and talk to people wherever you go, out in public, okay? And go out, and talk to people first that you feel comfortable with, okay? I don't care who it is. And then start talking to people that you're not as comfortable with, and go out in social settings and busy places, bars, marketplaces, whatever. There are a lot of people, and simply go out of your comfort zone. Because in life, we all have areas that aren't in our comfort zone, and the only way we move on and improve is going out of our comfort zones. The best things I've ever done for myself in my life was when I made the choice to go out of my comfort zone and go for what I wanted. Even though I didn't have an experience in it, or it definitely was nerve-wracking, I did it, and I was so happy I did it. And so you can do it too. So work on your social skills. And by the way, the more you work on your social skills and get better at it, you're going to have confidence. And that confidence will have a positive ripple effect on your career, your relationship with your family. If you get married one day, a wife, children, all that. Meanwhile, if you stay on the path you are right now, where you're unhappy, because you're unhappy, you're not going to have confidence because you don't feel like a man because you're doing everything on their schedule, living their lives that they want, not yours. And that's going to have a negative effect on your career as a doctor, how you handle things, how you are with a future wife and family one day. So you must do this. This is what I think. And again, I don't know your culture, religion, I don't know your parents, I don't know you, but I know enough about human nature after 45 years on this planet to understand. So you got one or two choices. You're at a crossroads. I really hope you choose the right one. Make me proud, bro. You can do it. If you became a doctor, and that is hard, long work, you can do this, okay? Make me proud. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Any of the Indian brothers that are watching this, share with this guy your experiences. Let him know, obviously, he's not alone, because I'm sure you guys have dealt in varying degrees this type of crap with your parents. And if you guys have forged your own path, let him know in the comment section things you've done. Let him know what you went through. Did your parents disown you? Were they unhappy at first, but eventually came around? Let them know. And for all the guys out there that are trying to forge their own path, whether they're over in India or the neighboring state to me in Connecticut, and had parents get in the way and you've had to forge your own path, let's hear about it in the comment section, because you know, it's just amazing to me how many guys out there, they want to do their own thing, but they're just so fearful of pissing people off. You can't care. You know, I've lost people I thought were good friends of mine because of what I do here on YouTube. And it's unfortunate. These are guys I knew for a while. I knew their families, been to their houses, been to mine, trips, vacations, all these things. And just because, well, let's be honest here, they're quite liberal and married, have daughters, some of them. You know, they immediately took me as the bad guy after all and just done with me, you know. But I'm forging my path and doing what I know is right and what I have to do. And that's a sacrifice I had to make, and I wasn't going to let that stop me. You know, sometimes in life, to do what you want to do, and for you, you're going to piss people off and lose people. And you know what? The times were great with them. I wish them well. And that's that. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. And I'm going to piss more people off in the future. It's just, you know, but I got to do what's best for me. And obviously, it's helping dudes around the world, so I'm not the fucking root of all evil a lot of people think I am. So, bro, I get it. You know, you make sacrifices, but you got to do what's best for you as long as you're not hurting anybody. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Again, let this guy know what you think. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.